to me, it's all about oneness, this idea that we are all connected, interrelated, one with each other. There's one energy, one divine source, one presence, that which some call God. You can use the word spirit, life, universe, that is moving through all of us and experiencing itself through us.
You're listening to the Spiritual Shitshow podcast with Suzanne Soul, episode 76. Hey, you glorious beings of stardust and light, and welcome to the Spiritual Shitshow podcast, where we get into the shit show the healing and spiritual awakening journey can be. I'm your host, Suzanne Soul, comedian, lifelong spiritual student, and I'm sharing some of the nuggets I've learned along my journey that have helped me and that I hope help you too. Welcome to a very special three-parter where we are celebrating queer spirituality and authenticity with queer spiritual director, conscious creator, and sacred activist Rev Rainbow Weldon. Rainbow, yes, that is her given name, is an ordained New Thought minister through Centers for Spiritual Living, a consciousness coach, and meditation facilitator with over 20 years of experience helping individuals and groups wake up to who they really are. She's the founder and spiritual director of the Queer Spirit Collective, an online community creating space for queer joy, spirituality, and connection. A community she started after she was talking about wanting to start this kind of a community at the time that we recorded this podcast in late 2025. So how about that for manifestation? Anyways, she's also a lovely and amazing soul I've known for a long ass time. In this series, we talk about spirituality, identity, grief, healing, ego, awakening, and what it means to become more fully yourself and connect with your spirituality while still being gloriously human. And you can enjoy some guest appearances by the kitten she just adopted at the time. In part 1, we get into her upbringing and new thought and how a spiritual lens can make it all make sense. Anyways, let's get into it, shall we? Rainbow, you there? Would you like me to call you Rev, Rainbow?
Oh, sorry. I was just, reading the Science of Mind.
Rev Rainbow Weldon! Welcome to the Spiritual Shit Show interview shit show.
Yes, you can just call me Rainbow.
Okay, just Rainbow.
Yes.
Okay, welcome, just Rainbow.
Yes, just Rainbow. Well, you know me. You knew me when I
know
was
Rainbow a long
Rainbow.
time. She is such a delight, and I'm so excited to have you here on the Shit Show to talk about all the amazing stuff you're up to and your journey. Oh my God, the Ruth Cup. Yes.
Oh, and even better, Supreme.
Supreme.
My niece was over and saw the mug, and she goes, "Did you have a mug made of you?" And I went, "How old do you think I am?" But I
For those who can't see us, tell us who that is.
Yes, it is the Supreme RGB, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, on my mug here. And I guess it resembles me.
Oh my God.
10-year-old.
Well, she's amazing. So it's an awesome thing to be compared to.
For sure.
I checked out your Insta and I love your bio. So I just wanted to go through that a hot second. It says, exploring life through a spiritual lens, Enneagram 9.
Yep.
Which is the most loveliest of all the Enneagrams. Manifester, ADHD, queer, conscious creator, sacred activist, spiritual director. Let's go through them one by one.
That's great. Yes.
Yeah, so exploring life through a spiritual lens. First, I want to ask you, I read on your bio that you grew up with New Thought.
Yes.
So I kind of want to just start there.
Sure. Yeah. So I had a very interesting upbringing, growing up in Georgia in the Bible Belt with metaphysical spiritual seekers as parents in the 80s, all about the positivity. But I was, meditating since I was like 5, my mom went through hypnosis school when I was about 8, 9, and so did my aunt. And so I always got to be their guinea pig. So, like, I can't even tell you how many times I was hypnotized, did past life regressions.
Oh my God, I love it.
Like, we'd be in the grocery store and my mom would be like, hold out your arm. I'm like, oh, Mom, she'd put out your arm. Now hold strong and do muscle testing and have me hold different foods. And I would be like a teenager, so embarrassed in the grocery store, you know, and like friends would come over and be like, what's in your cabinet? I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's some kind of mushroom growing that like it makes a healthy tea, you know. So I
love it.
yeah, had a very unique perspective on life growing up, and my parents found the Atlanta Church of Religious Science. That's what it was called at the time, and we started going there when I was about 5.
Wow.
And they studied there through Dr. Kennedy Schultz was the minister at the time, and again, an interesting experience. Being a child, seeing a minister, a spiritual leader that is an out gay man in Georgia. Granted, we were in, you know, downtown Atlanta. But these things that are I see in my life now, I can look back and be like, wow, it's so interesting how all these pieces came together, you know, to kind of lay some of that foundation.
Being in the Bible Belt and then you're having this new thought. I mean, what an amazing experience. How did you relate to the other kids and the people around you? I mean, you must have been like, listen, I've got the insider info that you guys don't know.
No, in fact, it was a lot more like, I felt what I would now understand is like a little bit of shame, you know, because I felt different. I didn't fit in, you know, and all those times when you're growing up, that's what's so important, right? You're just trying to fit in. And so I felt a little bit like, I don't talk about these things outside of my house or with, you know, so I kind of felt like, but yet it would also be fun when people would ask, and maybe more like in high school when I had some friends that would be a little bit more into some stuff like, you know, tarot or the Ouija board and, you know, the stars and the moon and astrology and all that kind of stuff and angels, and that I was always into, that I would kind of like feel like I could share a lot. And, you know, then my mom was the super cool, you know, that they could talk to about and be hypnotized and stuff like that. So there was that.
Rainbow's mom's house. We're going over to Rainbow's house. Her mom's going to hypnotize us.
Right. She would always.
Okay, honey, be home by dinner.
Right. Get the parents' permission first. But
that's amazing. God, that's so amazing. I love it. You know, I don't know if anyone doesn't know about New Thought. I would say we're talking Church of Religious Science, started from the philosophy of Ernest Holmes. We're talking Unity Church from Charles Fillmore, Myrtle Fillmore, and I'm sure there's a slew of others, but those are the two main ones I know. And if you were to put it in in the nutshell, New Thought, the philosophy around, there's the kitty.
You're trying to ask this deep question, and I'm like, can we just play with cats?
Can we play with the cat today? Of course, we can play with your cat.
So this is Mouse.
Hi, sweetie pie.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Play.
It's a very cute black and white kitten for those people who only
gotta
hear us
narrate
right
it
now.
all. I know.
So
I watch
cute.
podcasts and like when people do that, it's like for those that are just listening.
Those that are just listening.
Well, and I think I might speak a little bit even more specifically to Science of Mind, as I am an ordained minister with Centers for Spiritual Living, and that teaches the philosophy of Science of Mind based on Dr. Ernest Holmes. And it is a philosophy, and it's really a way of life. It's very practical. It's not about dogma or morality or judgment like a lot of religion seems to be more these days. And it's a spiritual path, you know, with spiritual principles and practices such as affirmations and affirmative prayer, meditation, visioning, visualization, contemplation, mindfulness, all of these things that are like popping up all in pop culture now, right? And that's what's so bizarre just in my lifetime, going from like, hide the crystals to
Yeah, hide
now
the
it's like,
crystals.
yeah, now it's like, yeah, like certain, my dad's
coming, hide the crystals.
Exactly. The Southern Baptist family's coming over, put away the Louise Hay book, hide the
God.
crystals,
I love it. Yeah.
So it's spiritual practices and principles. To me, it's all about oneness, this idea that we are all connected, interrelated, one with each other. There's one energy, one divine source, one presence, that which some call God. You can use the word spirit, life, universe, that is moving through all of us and experiencing itself through us.
Yes.
So I'm a big advocate for authenticity, self-expression, of really just living your life to the fullest with who you are, because that is the way that God gets to know itself better through all of us. And the same ideas, loving each other and try my best not to judge and have compassion and at the same time, balancing that part of me that is very much that activist, and for what's right and what's good, which comes from my spiritual values of oneness, that all beings are, wholeness, are inherently worthy, are the beloved, or divine expression of the one. So I see and desire a world for all beings.
Yes.
To know that and to have access for things that they need to have access to be that fully expressed being. So that's where the sacred activism kind of comes in, right? So not from a place of you're wrong, you're bad, blah, blah, blah. But really holding the vision for what we want and speaking out when things are not in alignment with those values. And that's okay too.
Yeah. And I want to get into that a little bit more, but I first want to ask, or just kind of reflect the idea of how you're describing New Thought. And what I'm hearing is just like, it's a different kind of connection with source, with God, with spirit. It's more visceral. It's more experiential. And that's like what I'm hearing from what you're sharing, is that you are not like a second level. You have to go through this guy to get to God.
Exactly. It is the direct revelation of
it
spirit
flowing through you.
Yes. And all of us
amazing.
have that opportunity.
Right. Correct.
To tap into that source within us, and the wisdom lives within us. I think another big part of it, at least for me in my ministry, is the idea of responsibility too. Like when something occurs in life, instead of just looking out there and blaming and shaming, it's like that mirror opportunity to look within and do that healing as an opportunity of growth. And that's what I mean by the responsibility, by looking at what's my part in this, and getting to those hidden beliefs, those things and it's usually, that idea of not good enough, unworthiness, or the lie of, scarcity, of lack and unworthiness, not enough time, all those things that we come to know or believe about ourselves, then unraveling that back to the truth.
Yeah. And it's like, I hear these things and I think about, there's all these different religions, and I know Christianity, and you were saying you're in the Bible Belt. And to me, that is what Jesus was talking about. He says,
exactly.
Pluck the beam. It's exactly what you just said. Like you are having you're having this feeling about someone, check in.
Yes.
Look inward.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So how do you move through your own personal life and have a spiritual lens around that? What are some ways that you practice that spirituality for you?
Yeah, it really is an everyday moment by moment. It's not so much now like a separate dedicated time for spiritual practice. It's in my active everyday life, as the upset comes because of whatever it is, the phone call, the text, the person that cut me off at the road, the being out of what I wanted at the grocery store, like those moments of, or the feelings of, what that come up that are like, ugh, pausing and using that as the moment to be like, okay, what am I really upset about? What am I believing in this moment? What is the truth? Feeling into letting myself like, I move and shake my body a lot. And, like when things are hard.
What's the lady doing in the grocery store? I don't think she's having a fit.
Exactly.
You're like, I'm clearing my aura.
Just people just.
I love it.
So, yeah, it is, but it looks like so many different things too, but it's just such an integrated part of my life that sometimes it's like, yeah, what is it? It's like, well, I could go through and it's being inspired by something creative. I love like content, podcast, art, things that are funny. That opens something up. Nature. I love being in nature. Kentucky is beautiful. And I can easily get to some mountains or a creek and take a nice, or just drive, by the rolling hills and all the horses and
Sounds
nature
wonderful.
Definitely is a place where I find that deep connection. And I do a lot of like walking kind of meditation. I have to do something pretty physical, a lot of physical energy.
Yeah, well, I get that. I can relate to that because it's our nervous system that we're wanting to discharge. So you were saying, like you're practicing throughout your life and throughout your day. What is your kind of overreaching belief system? Like, I am doing this because.
I'm doing this thing called life because, or I'm doing this practice because.
I'm using, I'm looking at through spiritual lens. I'm using these spiritual practices in my life because.
I think because the other way of doing it is miserable.
Amen.
Yeah, it's because if I'm reading the stories I'm telling myself and I'm judging and comparing myself to everyone else and I'm thinking that I'm separate and I'm thinking that I'm not enough, that's just a really hard way to do life. And so when I can, catch myself, and then the more you practice and over a lifetime, but I say, I've been doing these practices for over 40 years. And it's still an ongoing practice. And there's things I still come back to that it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, we never stop learning.
Yeah, again, again and again. So I think I'm also just a very curious person. I'm very fascinated by life and people and things. And that all of that to me is in that realm of spiritual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Of just seeing beyond the what some may call like the ego 3D experience. And anything seeing beyond that metaphysical, beyond physical, or to me is kind of what the spiritual lens is. So not looking at everything as just in the world of effect, but what's the cause, what's the bigger picture, what's the connection, what's the
Yeah. And so how do you relate to your ego in this practice?
I just notice it a lot. That's the main thing.
I love that.
And like, okay, a lot of times I kind of call it out. I process a lot externally. So I feel like I have a lot of insights and ahas with conversations with people. And some even on podcasts, or somebody ask me a question, I'm talking about something, I'm like, oh yeah, I never quite thought of it that way. I find myself a lot saying to people, like calling it out in conversations with friends or other, colleagues or people that I'm talking to, and be like, I know, but I really want to be right on this one. And I really, there's that part of me that could just go, and have the list. But I realize I'm just going to let it go, because even if I do that, it's still going to be more and more like that's not going to solve that dynamic at all.
Yeah. It sounds like, processing through conversation.
which I
Yeah.
also really
Yeah.
benefit from as well. That's a way that I'm able to get those light bulb. Wait a minute, while I'm telling the
Yeah.
person, I just thought of something while I'm telling you this.
Yes. 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 And
That's
kind of makes
awesome.
sense why you're doing a podcast, right? It's a good fit.
Yes. Yes, yes. Oh, I'm learning so much from this podcast from
Mm.
people like you and the other folks that I've had on here. I'm just getting illuminated like constantly. So I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky. So let's go to Enneagram 9.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Enneagram is this, I don't even
The
know how to
Enneagram is
describe
a
it.
numbered system of personality cluster kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing, would you
Mm-hmm.
say? Yeah.
Yeah. I used to be better at explaining it, but I haven't like
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
with it in
I
many
think
years.
a lot of people know who it is. I'm a 4, which is the worst, but keep
Okay.
going.
I recently had an existential crisis and thought I might be a 4
No, you don't want
instead of a 9. And then I realized I was just really in my emotions and in the height of my grief and couldn't figure out and everything was just felt like, and,
that's it.
but I have a lot of 4. I get that, yeah,
You might have
emotional
a 4
sensitive
wing.
guys, but
Yeah,
maybe, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So as a 9 is the peacemaker,
Mm.
and how I really relate to that is I really can see all sides
Mm.
in any situation,
Oh,
which
that's
is
amazing.
sometimes hard and frustrating for myself because it's sometimes harder for me because I can go right to the compassion for why the other person did whatever instead of giving myself the space to be like, yeah, that hurt and that's not right.
Yeah, I can
And
relate
that
to
is
that.
something that is I'm kind of just now learning over the past handful of years. So yes, that peacemaker to me, how it shows up is seeing kind of all different sides and perspectives of things. And at its core, it's the not wanting, avoiding conflict. And
Okay.
so it showed up for most of my life as people pleasing, as not really having my own idea or opinion or very strong attachment to anything, because I could just kind of be flexible and go along to get along. And well, where do you want to eat? What do you want to do? So that's kind of
Yeah.
a lot of the things that around the 9 and coming into more of a healthy, conscious, balanced version of being a 9 is more of that just seeing all perspectives things, but also not, I no longer avoid conflict.
That's
You
great.
could ask
'Cause
a lot
it's
of people around me recently. It may not be,
it's
it's a little bit, it's a little bit of a shit show, but I'm learning and speaking up for
Yeah.
myself much more.
That's wonderful.
And
Sometimes I
trying to
think we
figure
have
out,
to go like extreme to
oh,
the other
yeah.
side
Oh,
before we
sure.
can
Yeah.
find that balance. So go,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. Give me a friend. It's like, okay, she figured it out and she yelled it.
I think
figure it out.
she's telling us. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it.
So it's been a big journey around, knowing what I really want and not just doing everything for everyone else in my life. And then, just to might as well go there now, just to share why that's been extra up for me recently is through, so my mom died about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
My aunt that I mentioned as well, she died a few months before her.
I'm so sorry.
Um,
Your mom
yeah.
was lovely. I got the opportunity to meet her. She was a lovely, lovely woman.
Yes.
Yeah, she really was.
So that on top of being an only child, my dad died about 20 years ago. And then, oh gosh, maybe 9 months after my mom's death, my wife, partner, and I have 17 years separated.
Oh.
So it was a lot of grief and change at once. But it has felt like a fast track to spiritual healing in a deeper way than I could even ever imagine around that self-love and that self-worth and the knowing who I am, and all of a sudden from having all this other things around me and always caring for and it living life kind of in response or reaction to, and I have a daughter too who's not, so it was like there was lots of people around me with big personalities and ideas and things that 9-ness in me could just kind of go along and get along. And now it's like, okay, who am I? What do I want? Even from like decorating my space to, just discovering new things. Like, what do I want to watch on TV? What do I want to go out or do for fun? Yes. What do I want to eat or learn to cook?
Amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot more to that, but that, I think that kind of wraps that up around the
feels
peacemaker stuff.
It feels like, just to reflect back, it feels like another layer of a spiritual awakening. Through the challenges.
Yes, for sure. And moving through the grief and the big emotions and all of that, and giving myself space to do that.
Well, I support that wholeheartedly, and I just I honor the spiritual lens that you are experiencing this through, because these are big human experiences, and so God bless. Yeah.
And in the meantime, I just, keep adopting kittens. She's number 4.
Oh my God. You're like, you know what? Today's been a tough day. I think I'm going to stop at the
Humane Society.
Humane Society.
Well, and sometimes, my daughter and I go just to like love up on the animals, and it's double hard to try to control my own impulse and desire for more cats than when you have my precious little one like, Mom, please, please, please. Oh, I just feel this connection, and I just know, and I just need this cat. Oh, and I'm just like,
helpful.
I know. I was like, I'm trying to,
it's my Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Rainbow's like, I have 35 cats now, and I can't leave the house anymore.
Right.
That is amazing. Okay. And I'm going to keep going through your Instagram bio because it's giving me all the juice of life.
That's so funny. I almost updated recently. I was like, I haven't been on this in a while. Maybe I should. And then I couldn't figure out how to get in it. And I was like, oh, well, whatever.
Oh my God,
I'm glad I didn't. I just get bored. And it's the ADHD. So I'm just like, that's been on there for a year. I need to change this.
Okay, we're off to a good start with an amazing convo with Rainbow Weldon. In part 2, we go deeper into how Rainbow actually lives her spirituality in her day-to-day life. So you should probably be there. You know what I mean? You probably need it. Anyways, as always, this has been the Spiritual Shitshow Podcast. My name is Suzanne Soul. Thank you so motherfucking much for listening. And I will see you on the next one. Roll it gorgeous.